If I had to start over, and I might consider actually making a course on this, but if I had to start over, I wouldn't change anything. I would have just hired people quicker. That's the one thing I regret not doing sooner. It's hiring a team. It's creating the SOPs, the standard operational procedures. But on the other hand, I would have had less experience. Thank you. On the other hand, if I wasn't a cog, and I'm still a cog right now for longer, I wouldn't know what I know. So I might actually consider creating a course. So if you're watching this, I always wanted to make a free course where I basically take a site from zero, build it up, plan it, we pick a niche, we pick a monetization strategy, and we rank it and we see if we can just make a bit of side hustle with it. So if you're watching this, ping me. But let's recap. So I run an agency now. It's the agency method, but I never intended to run an agency. I didn't want to deal with people. I was immigrant family from Ukraine. I was I would consider an introvert, but didn't know any English. So the last thing I wanted to do was speak to people. Always enjoyed playing with graphics. I think I was playing with Photoshop in 1997, 1998. I was drawing things, designing things. 2000s, I was already making like forum signatures for guild members, photoshopping all kinds of cucumber-shaped objects on people's faces. I was quite good at that. And so by 2003, 2004, I was mucking around with 3D, visual aesthetics, interfaces, business cards and stuff like that, photoshopping people's university degree diplomas. By 2004 and 5, around there, I was already fiddling with Dreamweaver. I wasn't patient enough to learn code, and I still don't know any code, and I don't want to know any code. As soon as I need some code, I just know that I can buy a plugin or hire someone to do it or go around it. I don't dislike code. Code is definitely necessary, but when we need I try to avoid custom coding anything with our sites, because a lot of the time custom code doesn't survive the endless updates. So anyhow, from there, I was already making sites that are 2005, 2006, so basically finishing high school. By 2008, I was already quite capable of building really basic landing page websites for friends, for family. I did this just for free. As a hobby. Dad's medical business, mum in the legal space, accountants naturally gravitated towards us because mum worked with a lot of accountants, so things like SMSF, trust deeds. Started fiddling with Google Ads for my parents. Started fiddling with Google Ads for my friends and family. And so I ended up building quite a few sites. And then what happened was people kept on coming back to me and said, Eugene, you've built us this site. What now? I don't know. What now? What are the options? So as someone that loves to tinker, like that's my default. I was an absolute dropkick in high school. I don't know how I got through high school. Suspended, expelled, all sorts of fun stuff. But I always enjoyed graphics, fiddling with things, breaking things, fixing things digitally, like these IT fingers, right? World of Warcraft, thank you. And so I started fiddling with, okay, I have these sites. How do I actually progress them through the ranks? How do I get my site to show up? And that was always like I was like nervous about it. I'm still nervous about it, like the good nervous, the good kind. And so I was scared to play with client sites. So I built out my own sites, my own domains. And so I grew up in Bayside in Melbourne. So naturally I gravitated to the first keyword that comes to mind is plumber, Brighton, or mechanic, Brighton, or cafe near me, mechanic near me, a whole bunch of terms that were just all over the place, like with no idea what I was doing. So I discovered a Google keyword planner tool, which was really cool. And I learned how to identify trends, Google trends and things like that. Basically what people are searching, and based on what people were searching, I picked up domains and started building those domains out. I learned very quickly that the term lawyer Melbourne, it's like That wasn't even, these are really basic sites, right? Where I'm testing the waters. So essentially I built out my own sites. I had no idea what the term marketer was. I only learned that recently, and I'd hardly call myself a marketer. And I built these sites, and eventually those sites started to get leads. I'm talking like hundreds of these sites. They had content from writers in India, from Pakistan, from all over the world, because it's, okay, I can write these articles myself. I'm not much of a writer. This was before Grammarly. This was definitely before AI. Essentially, this was before any kind of paraphrasing tools. I had to hire writers, right? Because it wasn't sustainable for me to create content on hundreds of sites, because I wasn't confident enough to make those edits and toy with client sites or family sites. It's just, I didn't want that stress. Plus the goal was always, I never had money in mind. I was just interested in doing the thing, in getting the lead and getting the website to show up. When I wake up in the morning and I check, when I learned what rank trackers were, I'd refresh them. It's such a rush. It's, oh my God, I received 5 visitors. That's so fucking good. And then leads started to come through, and I was like, huh, this shit works. I can do this. I'm not useless. I'm not totally useless. Because I thought I was always on the back foot. I didn't fucking understand anything anyone's talked about. It's in primary school. Barely understood anything. Like, I'm learning English. I literally just copied everyone, because you try copy like first day of school, there was sitting a Japanese exam. I had to copy the dude opposite me. Do you try copy Japanese characters in a test? Because that's like, I don't want to fail. I don't want to go home and tell mum I failed, because Ukrainian mum, good luck. So I started to get leads with these sites. And when I started to get leads, I'm like, oh my God, this is potential. This is a benefit to some kind of business. So I started contacting like local businesses, and I soon learned that the ones at the top of Google need the leads because they're already at the top of Google. But the ones on page 2, the ones with rubbish websites that don't have any websites, the ones without a Google listing, the ones with low reviews, the ones that have a website but don't have a Google listing, over time I figured this stuff out. So don't call the guys at the top because they're already at the top. They don't need me. So I'm like, hey boys, got these leads. Just someone call them while they're warm. Just take the business. And so I ended up sending like hundreds and hundreds of leads across a whole bunch of niches. I'm talking like eyebrow tattoos, trades, medical, cardiology, you name a space, accounting, building. And then, so these are my own properties. And what ended up happening was, at this stage, I was already quite comfortable with things like Facebook ads, Google ads, ranking sites. And they're like, look, Eugene, it's good that you're getting these leads through your sites, but we want our brands to be showing up. I'm like, I don't want to do that. I don't need to do that kind of thing. And so people insisted on basically, hey, we're going to give you this much money. I'm like, oh, you build us a site. I'm like, oh, okay. And if these leads continue to come through, we can give you this much monthly. I'm like, I didn't know these things were worth this much. Had no idea what value-based pricing was, no idea like calculation of their potential. I didn't care for that. I just wanted them to have leads, and I still just want everyone that I look after to have leads and calls. It's just such a hunt. One thing to get traffic. Traffic is easy. It's traffic that matters, traffic that converts. And so when we're running that Google ad, it's the precision of the key terms that we're targeting. When we're attempting to rank for certain keywords, we get a lot of traffic very easily. Traffic is not hard. It's traffic that matters. And so moral of the story, I built out a whole bunch of sites. When I built the sites out, I was capable of building sites. I ran Google ads. A lot of the time I played with the Google ads at my own expense, at my own budget. I ran Facebook ads, so played around with my own budgets before I ran anyone's campaign. So by the time I was running someone's campaign, it's like, I knew the playbook because I burnt my own thousands of dollars. I'm just thankful that I was able to, at that age, realize that, man, employment sucks. I was thankful that I had really terrible bosses, and I was thankful to have really good bosses. Terrible bosses taught me what kind of person I don't want to be, what kind of person I don't want to be around. And I'm thankful to the terrible bosses because they taught me what I didn't want in my life as a process of elimination. I want to start doing things now that move me away from being tied to people like that. We have to go through it. We all get bent over backwards at some points in our life, right? And then I was thankful to the good bosses because they taught me that culture and so I knew what kind of a person I wanted to be. So if I create a course, it'll be literally teaching people how to build niche sites. Pick a niche. The monetization strategies are up to you. We can go down the affiliate way where you just simply earn commission. Amazon is a good example. Once you get traffic or once you get some sort of eyeballs. Or two, it's the lead gen. If you're capable of having conversations with people, which I love, right? To me, that's my favorite bit. But everyone's different. Some people don't want to meet people, so you go down the affiliate way. So the course will cover things like niche selection, how to put a site together, how to plan a site, how to build it out, hopefully how to rank it if I have time, what to do next, landing pages and stuff like that. So if that's something that interests you, ping me, and I'll consider you as my first early tester.